If you're a grappler, if you do jiu-jitsu, you want to implement plyometrics into your strength and conditioning. Two major reasons: to build explosive power and speed so you can come up on top when you do your scrambles. You have quicker, faster, more explosive takedowns so your opponents don't see it coming. You're more explosive into the submission so your opponent doesn't have time to mount their defense. On the other side of the spectrum, something that we don't think about, the landed of plyometrics helps us be able to handle larger forces, which if we put that in a more practical application for jiu-jitsu, it allows our body to be able to handle more stress on the mat so that some of the forces that we take on the jiu-jitsu mat will not hurt us, or the injury won't be very severe. So it can actually keep us helping us handle the forces, building strength in the joints of the knees, the hips, the ankles, making our ligaments and tendons stronger around the joints, definitely in keeping our bones strong. So what I'm going to do in this video is show you some variations that I like for all different fitness levels. If you're looking for more personalized help, I'm going to put a link to my one-on-one coaching program where I help grapplers get stronger and improve the gas tank and become more durable on the mat. So let's get started. So the first here is we're going to have low intensity, and sometimes as we get older, we're like, I can't jump anymore because if I do, I'll hurt myself. And a body will adapt. The problem is people often do too much too soon, so you don't give your body a chance to adapt, so you end up like hurting yourself. And this is just like people do with weight training. People will be like, hey, deadlifts are bad, but it's probably because maybe you went too heavy or you don't know how to do it properly. We can start at like a low intensity and build our capacity up. All right. Older side, these are going to be very helpful because, like I said, it's going to help you handle forces. It's going to help you stay explosive, which is really important as you get older, because you don't want to become one of those older people that walk very slow. They can't catch themselves when they fall. And like I said before, plyometrics strengthen your bones, which is something that's an issue as we get older. It can be just like very basic hops, and when I put this video together, I'm going to put some demonstrations up here, but things like leaps where you just jump in and you're not trying to jump really high, you try and go really quick off the floor, almost like you're jumping on hot coal. You don't want to be on the floor too much. So we can do these with leaps where I jump with 2 feet at a time. I can do split exchanges where I jump and switch my feet in the split stance. I can stay in a split stance and jump up and down. And I can do just a ton of variations. I can jump with 2 feet on the ground and kind of move side to side. I can jump with 2 feet on the ground and go backwards. And these are very beginner friendly, and they most likely won't hurt you. So when I program these are usually done for like higher reps, 10 to 20 reps, maybe 1 to 3. Another jump variation I would probably put in that is a box jump. And sometimes people think it's more intense than it is. But if you think about what you're doing on a box, is you're jumping to a higher surface. So if you jump high and you land on the ground, you have to absorb more force because you're falling because you're landing from a higher height. When you jump onto a box, those forces become diminished because you're jumping on something higher. So it's actually pretty friendly, and it's a very beginner friendly exercise because you can really modify it any way you want. Like if you're like when I first, especially people older, when I first have them do box jumps, sometimes I'll have them do a box jump on like one of those big rubber plates, and then we can progress over time. So I would call those more low tier, and they're very beginner friendly that everyone can really do. The next one is going to be medium to high tier. So these are more explosive. Yes, they are going to stress the joints more, but when it comes to exercise, stress in the short term is often going to help us in the long term because like I said, it's going to build those muscles, our bones, make stronger ligaments, and make it get harder to get injured, which is why a proper program is important, is that we don't do too much too soon. So these things can be jump variations. We're just trying to jump high. So we will still want to be quick off the ground, but we won't really jump high. So all the jumps we did and all the jumps I talked about in the last one, we could just make those more intense by jumping higher. We could also do things like weighted jump. We could do jump squats. We could do weighted jump squats. We could do broad jumps. We could do jumping lunges. These are all great variations. It's going to build that explosive power and help our body handle those forces. And again, this is especially, I know I said this a bunch, this is important with jiu-jitsu, especially like you get in these leg entanglements or guys hit your knee in this awkward position. You want to be able to handle those forces without tearing something. And I don't guarantee you that you do this, you'll never tear a muscle, but you're going to increase your chances that doesn't happen. So the last tier, so with these medium one, because these are more intense, what we want to do is actually bring the reps down. So these are exercises I probably do reps of maybe 3 to 6. If you're doing things like leaps or jumping lunges, I still might go a little higher reps, like 5 to 10. But again, as the intensity goes up, we don't want to do as much reps and we don't want to do as much sets. So when things become intense, a little goes a long way. So this is really important with just like strength training. Like if you can deadlift, the heavier you can deadlift, the more stressful it is to your body. So the less sets and overall volume you need, if that makes sense. And the last tier, and I've been messing around with this for maybe the last couple of years. They're called as deep tier plyometrics. So the idea of this is these aren't going to make you super explosive, but they're really going to help you sink deep into these large ranges of motion and really help you like go back to handling these forces. And plus, another benefit is that it can help you increase your hip mobility. So an example of this would be like maybe jumping up and down and land to a jump squat. But instead of focusing on jumping as high as you can and really focus on the power aspect, you're not really worried about jumping as high as you can. You're not going to try to jump as high as you can. But when you land, you're going to try to really relax your muscles and let gravity sink you into a deep position. And you can do these with a bunch of different variations. So, of course, the easiest one probably to do is just like a leap or a jump squat where you jump and you land it into the deepest squat you can. But even things like split jumps, split squats, doing single leg hops and really things like skater squats where you jump side to side, again really trying to sink into the hip. So again, the idea is not to be super quick and explosive, but to really be able to let yourself land in these deep ranges of motion and be able to handle, and that's over time that's going to help you be able to handle the forces of not just these plyometrics but any forces that you get on the mat. So that's all I got for you today. So put these into your program. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments. If you're interested in one of my programs, go to the link